What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna watch a very special game theory video. It's called Undertale: Sans' Secret Identity. I've never watched this one before, but I know it's gonna be quite the revelation. Let's go.
Can you imagine a world where we're all represented by a font? Wonder which one I would be. Too straight. No,
What?
not in that way, just
Wait, what?
straight.
What?
As in,
Wait, what? Hang on, man. We just started. What's happening, man? God damn it. Game theory's gone woke.
unexciting.
Okay.
To, Deadpool.
It's kind of cool, man. Sans.
Broadway. Now that's the one. Now that's the one.
Oh, wow. Wow. A beautiful beginning, man. And we go. Holy crap, man. We got that crazy opening. Rock and roll and everything. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, man.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where
What
instead
up,
of putting
man?
a joke here, I want to ask you a question. If your personality were represented by a font, what font would you be?
I am picking Wingaster, the royal font.
Take a moment and put your font in the comments. I'm really
I
curious to
just
see what
did.
everyone has to say.
Kinda.
Maybe find a couple new cool fonts to use.
Sleepy
Get
Town.
bored with old Calibri
The ugly
11. And with that out of the way, it's time to talk Undertale.
Hell
Now, I don't think I've
yeah,
ever
man.
gotten this many requests to cover a game.
the kitty face.
Well, except for FNAF. And I suppose FNAF 2. Oh, and then there was FNAF 3. Wait a minute, should I be worried about something here? Anyway,
This is the saddest thing, man. Well, how long is this? 8 years ago? Bro, I don't even know, man. And now this theory is like canon with like, we got the movie, is been crazy.
across the board on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter, you all have wanted Undertale. And honestly, I'm glad you brought it to
is
my
that?
attention. True loyal theorists will know that Earthbound is my favorite game of all time. So
Okay.
a self-aware RPG in a similar style? Oh man, it's like a gift from the indie gaming heavens. Undertale is a game where every character, from Goat Mom to Grind
Hell
Fodder,
yeah,
has a
hell
sympathetic
yeah.
design and unique personality, motivations, goals, fears. Whether you're saving or slaughtering them, the game
Yep.
makes you feel something every time you enter an encounter. But to me,
Very
one
true.
character stood out amongst all the rest. Sans. A skeleton
The
named after
skeleton,
the
man.
font
Everyone
Comic
agrees.
Sans, hence all the font references at the beginning of the episode. If you haven't played Undertale, I'm sure that was a really weird opening. Anyway, Sans
Don't worry,
is-
man, we get it.
Well, there's a lot of mystery around this guy. And before we get into it, let me put up a very special spoiler warning.
For Undertale or for Earthbound? Because I don't even know Earthbound, man.
Undertale is a game best experienced blind. So if you haven't played it, pause the video and come back after you've finished. I
Crap, man, I think I can't watch this. Okay, no.
I promise you won't regret it. Alright, so everyone out of the pool and ready for the adult swim? Good, because I'm feeling pretty determined to get to the bottom of Sans' mystery. So
Look, it's a Sans video. We have a pun every 5 seconds. Maybe that's normal, I guess.
just to recap for those of you who haven't played the game and ignored the spoiler warning or just need a refresher, Sans is one of the two skeletal brothers who appear in the game. His
Yep.
partner is Papyrus, a loud, goofy trap lover also named after a font. But in the world of
Yeah.
Undertale, their origins are a big question mark. All that we really know is what's given to us by a shopkeeper in Snowdon, who explains that Sans and Papyrus, quote, just showed up one day
I love and asserted
and
themselves.
asserted themselves.
Yeah, I love... Dude, this is Undertale in a nutshell. One line, you don't give the fans a lot, you just give one line, they go crazy. Every single theory, boom, it explodes.
Weird, right? What's more is that while Papyrus is just kind of the goofy sidekick, Sans is
The
much
creepy
more
music.
complex. Sure, he
Hello.
likes fart jokes, but he's also incredibly powerful and deadly serious. Not
Yeah.
only is his boss battle the hardest in the game, he's one of the only characters to have knowledge and power over space and time. He often takes shortcuts around the world through ridiculous routes, even
Still really
walking
weird.
through walls. He also acknowledges that he's only one of infinite versions of himself, making self-aware commentary of the various timelines that you've played through in the game. He can even count the number of times he's killed you. He acts like an
To be fair, I think that is actually one of because that is just kind of like funny, right? That's like, it's actually not him knowing what's happening. it's literally Frisk being like a child and being like, God damn it, man, I'm dying all the time. I think that's kind of like a nice way to like balance it.
An arbiter in this world, passing out judgment on the player's actions in the game, even explaining the secrets of EXP and love, or execution points and levels of violence, just to clarify. In short, he just doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the world of monsters. But then what? Or who is he? Well, the idea that he doesn't belong in Underworld seems to be correct.
In Underworld? What's happening? What, Underworld? Undertale? The Underworld? Like the Underground? Hello?
Evidence seems to point to the fact that he was, in fact, formerly a surface dweller. In the true pacifist ending of the game, as the group looks out onto the horizon, Papyrus asks Sans about the giant ball in the sky. Sans says, quote, "We call that the sun." This is important because A, the usage of the word we and knowledge of the sun shows that Sans has a kinship or knowledge with other humans, and
Well, to be fair, I mean, I'm pretty sure Papyrus is being goofy. I'm pretty sure Papyrus knows, considering anime. You know, Undyne definitely has anime. The sun shows up in the anime, you know,
B,
pretty...
that despite he and Papyrus both being skeletons, are supposedly brothers,
They
and
probably
apparently
know.
appeared in Underworld at the same time, they clearly have two very different histories. Why would Papyrus not know the name of the sun, but Sans
He's
would?
being
We
a
have further
goofball.
clues as to Sans' origin, as we hear him say multiple times that he wants to go home, or go back.
Now that is weird. That as well. Again, one single line, people go crazy, because that's the weird stuff.
He says as much during his dinner date scene at the Metaton Hotel. He notices that the player must want to go home and says, quote, "I know the feeling." He then continues, "Maybe sometimes it's better to take what's given to you," as though he ended up in Underworld by accident. And in a genocide run during his boss fight, he says, quote, "Look, I gave up trying to go back a long time."
Another one, just one line. But to be fair, especially, I don't know, I think this was probably before Deltarune, right? Yeah, I mean 8 years ago or something, sure. And kind of like people connected to Deltarune now, people just connected to everything.
Ago, end quote. And before you say he means going back to the surface world, that's clearly not the full story. His very next line of dialogue is, "And getting to the surface doesn't really appeal
True.
anymore either."
Very
Key word
true.
here is either. Yes, he seems to hail from the surface and wants to go back, but based on his dialogue, he no longer considers it his home. It's as though the surface world he once knew is gone, as though he's from a different time. It's pretty intriguing. So we're left with a being that appeared out of nowhere, presumably from the human surface, but from a different time period, who
I'm gonna stop here and be like, we kind like, you know, it's the meme, we all know where this is kind of going. I wonder if it's gonna explain Papyrus though, you know, since Papyrus is the bro, but it already did, like, Papyrus doesn't know the sun, so it feels like this video is trying to separate Sans from Papyrus, so I wonder how that's gonna work.
who seemingly has the power to teleport. That's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers.
If Ness can teleport, I'm quitting the video, man, it's confirmed. If Ness is also a font, confirmed.
But here's where things get really interesting. Sans has a hidden workshop that takes a fair amount of searching to
Yep.
find. You could say it takes a lot of determination to unlock. Anyway, obligatory determination references aside, as you start to
Number
look for
3.
this Easter egg, Sans gives you a key to his room with the words, "It's time you learn the truth." After
Wait, really? Wait, I don't remember that. Is that actually, wait, is that a quote? That's weird. I thought it was just like, haha, I'm a funny skeleton, here you get a key, I'm gonna confuse you. Or maybe that's a joke. It's like you learned... Dude, this room, this secret lab, was Toby Fox's undoing. that was the beginning of just everything going crazy.
After some searching, you find the workshop, which contains items that leave even more questions.
Yeah.
A photo album featuring Sans and a bunch of smiling people you don't recognize, a badge, blueprints with illegible handwriting, and a broken machine hidden behind a curtain. In the latest update, one more detail was added, a hand-drawn picture of 3 smiling faces with the words, "Don't forget."
That was added. Don't think I knew that. Okay, so that is weird. But that was... Wait a minute, though, because that was probably very soon after that Deltarune was released. And we know Don't Forget is like a major theme in Deltarune. So this could also be like proof that Toby Fox put that in the game specifically to tease a connection to Deltarune.
So what's it all mean? Well, a lot of Undertale theorists have been linking these details to a mysterious figure named W.D. Gaster.
That too.
A ghostly character who never truly appears in the game. Honestly, covering him is a theory all unto itself, and probably one best saved for another day. Even
And
still, none of the Gaster theories I've seen have been able to explain all the details. In particular, the photo album and the badge. And that's what kept nagging me as I researched Undertale. A badge? That one in particular really stuck out to me. Why would such an oddly specific item be included in this huge Easter egg of a room? Something that supposedly reveals the truth about Sans. Badges just aren't important in Undertale. And then it hit.
I mean, Royal Guard badge? I don't remember. Is there a Royal Guard badge or just like armor? That's pretty much the only, I guess royal, right? A royal badge is the only other explanation. Wingding W.D. Gaster, Winggaster, royal scientist.
Hit me. What if it wasn't from Undertale? What if this badge was from a completely different game and was in fact the most important badge in the history of gaming? The Franklin badge. No.
And I hate it because I don't know what it is. Which kind of makes me feel sad because it was just called the most important badge ever.
Now, for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, the Franklin badge is a pivotal item from the Mother series. You know, the one with Earthbound. Or maybe you don't know that one either. You know, the one that Ness from Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, well, Ness is from Earthbound, and Earthbound is the second part in this larger Mother trilogy.
Mother
All
Earthbound.
right? Good. Anyway, the Franklin badge is a really important part of that series. It gets its start in the very first game and carries through the whole trilogy, saving your life multiple times in the process. It's so important that Nintendo has made it a staple item in the Smash Brothers series. So I asked myself, what if the badge in Sans' drawer was that exact badge? Well, first off,
I love how unhinged this is. I mean, sure, this is gonna go more into detail, but if you stop here, it's like, just because it's a badge, immediately to the Franklin badge. Who the hell is Franklin?
Often make Undertale connected to my favorite game, thereby making it even cooler. But that's still a pretty big logical leap. I needed more. And let me tell you, as I started looking, more and more pieces started to fit into place. At the end of Earthbound, you're given a photo album covering your adventures throughout the game. To me, it's one of the best, most satisfying endings in gaming to look back on your journey
kind of like
in picture
Undertale
form. And what does Sans happen to have in his other drawer? A photo album filled with pictures of Sans with people you don't recognize. Of course, you don't know them. They're not characters present in Undertale. And note the word that...
And dude, and Ness is smiling. If you put Ness, Sans over Ness, the mouth, the smile is the same. Holy crap, man.
used here. People you don't recognize, not underworld monsters. So that's two...
What the hell's an underworld? Stop. I'm being triggered.
Items oddly linked to the Mother series, but then how do the blueprints and broken machine fit in? Well, in the final stretch of Earthbound, Ness and his three friends must travel to the past in order to have their final battle against the evil alien
I know
Gygus.
this thing.
To do that,
Gygus? Is that canon? I always said Gigas. Gigius. Gygus. Okay. I don't know if that's right. No idea.
Dr. Donuts. Remember him, by the way. He's going to be important later. With the help of the...
What, Endonuts? What? Donuts?
Science geniuses Apple Kid and Mr. Saturn create what's known as the Phase Distorter, a machine that allows people to travel through time and space. Except, it comes with a cost. It can't transport organic material. As a result...
Okay. That's pretty funny. That is really funny. So far, I've been kind of joking, making memes. That is hilarious. I actually respect the theory. That is funny. Organic material, Sans is a skeleton. Ness took the machine, lost the skin. That is really funny. I like that. Okay, I'm into it.
The young heroes must put their souls into robotic bodies to use the machine and thus save the world. I played this game back in 1997, and I'm not ashamed to admit that when I first saw this scene, I cried. It's devastating. Dr. Donuts says goodbye to his son. These characters that you've grown to love and care about are suddenly promising to sacrifice their lives. For all they know, there's no possibility of them being able to come back home. It's this incredibly dark departure in the final moments of what was otherwise a fun, quirky, and colorful RPG.
Which I guess is a little similar to Undertale. But Undertale, I mean, to be fair, the first room already goes kind of crazy.
So what's all this have to do with Undertale? A lot, actually. But the first thing you need to know is that Mr. Saturns are known for their, let's say, unique linguistics.
Wingdings caster.
Style. That would explain the illegible handwriting
Okay,
on the
no.
blueprints. And the machine, I think a broken phase distorter is behind that curtain. Now
All
that
right,
may seem like
all
a
right.
stretch, but it actually explains a lot. If Sans wound up in Underworld via a phase distorter, it could provide a reason for why he's a skeleton.
Yeah,
he used
okay.
the machine as
That's
organic
okay.
matter
I like
and
it.
suffered the consequences.
I like
not
it.
killing him, but turning at least part of him into a pile of bones.
It's
it would also
adult
explain
Ness,
why
I guess.
Sans has given up hope for going home.
Unless you're like, that's why Ness is kind of, that's why Sans is kind of short. But then Sans is a child, and that is problematic.
Remember, the Distorter is a time machine. By being in Underworld, he's not only in a different place, but based on how he talks, he's also in a different time, with no hope of traveling back to the time he came from. But the
Okay,
crossovers
okay.
between Earthbound and Undertale continue. When you speak to the Apple Kid at the end of Earthbound, he's blown away by the astronomical odds of Ness overcoming Gygus, saying that he's going to continue studying the trait called Courage in order to harness its power. Seems awfully similar to the same experiments happening in Undertale around the trait of determination, no? Especially
Okay.
since so much speculation has circulated that Sans is a key player in those experiments. But I'm sure you also want physical evidence, right?
Wait, what? Wait, I don't get that. Who was the kid? I'm guessing the kid was like a important character? Or is it just, that was kind of a weird
Well,
comparison?
don't worry, because I have plenty. During one of the endings of Undertale, we see Undyne and Alphys hanging out on the beach.
Alfie's nuts, man. I remember.
on
Best
the
joke I've ever
surface
made.
world, a beach that shares a lot of similarities to the tropical resort location named Summers that you play through in Earthbound. In fact, the
Okay.
geographic layout of
I mean, if that was actually, like, that was like 1-to-1 though. Kinda, it seemed like, the colors especially.
surface bears some striking similarities to the world of Mother. When Undertale's crew of monsters are finally able to reach the surface and look out over the earth, they're met with a beautiful sunset falling across a landscape of a tall mountain, a large city, and a sandy area adjacent to water. Notice the sun's reflection to indicate water and a lack of trees in this middle section here, hence the sand.
Okay.
Well, in Earthbound, you have the big city of Fourside, complete with skyscrapers, which you reach via a desert that just so happens to be adjacent to some water, and to the east, the mountain in Onetz, where a meteorite lands
Not
on
east,
Earth.
but
Let's
west.
call it Onyx.
Okay.
But if that's not clear enough for you, Mother 1, Earthbound 0, Earthbound Beginnings, whatever
What's
you want to call it,
happening?
it's had a lot of names, had a map laying out the same geographic landscape. A tall mountain to the east of a large
Wait,
city
east, please.
separated by a desert, with all of it up against a coast.
Except that the coast has trees, man.
I don't know about you,
Suspicious.
but to me it seems like there's a definite connection between the world of Eagleland, again, unclear how it's pronounced, between the world of Eagleland and the surface world of Undertale. But the strongest physical connection, the one that definitely unites these two franchises, comes from none other than Papyrus himself.
Okay. I was thinking like Toby Fox is like played Earthbound. Toby Fox made the Earthbound hack. Papyrus. I was hoping that there was gonna be some Papyrus
He
action.
wears a custom-made costume known as his battle body. But if you
Yeah.
look really closely at the
There's a
design of the
badge.
armor, you'll notice some markings on the chest. Is it just a throwaway detail? Oh no!
The
That
Franklin
right there
badge.
is an exact match to the ones that appear on the chests of Starman, the most iconic enemy of Earthbound.
Okay.
And look at the way he stands. I always thought it was awkward until I looked at the two characters side by side.
Possibility number 1. It's a reference, because Toby Fox, Earthbound, makes sense. Possibility number 2. This is just the way you draw like a badge, or you that's just pixel art. Like spriting 101. That's just what you do to make it look cool. Possibility number 3. Sans' Ness.
Papyrus's
Holy crap,
curved
man.
arm and hand is a direct match to the curved arms of the Starman in the Mother series. In short, we have some incredibly strong proof that the Earthbound universe is somehow connected to the Undertale world. Which
Okay.
brings us back to our initial question.
Oh, no.
Who is Sans?
Who
Well, what
the
if we
hell
took it
is
one
this
final
guy?
step and said that Sans happened to be Ness from Earthbound, sent through the phase distorter during a test of courage, carrying the Franklin badge and his photo album in his trusty backpack. Not only do all the items in the workshop
okay.
suddenly fit, but so does Sans' behavior. Remember, Sans can seemingly teleport, and Ness just so happens to have the PSI ability to teleport.
I had no idea. God damn it, man. This is getting too much for me. I have to stop watching.
Now look at the way Sans always stands. Hands in his pocket.
Stan Sans, dude. The Stan Sans.
It's directly facing the camera. It's a very similar stance to how Ness is depicted standing in most marketing.
God damn it, Ness.
It even explains why Sans bleeds when you finally hit him. He is.
But he doesn't have organic matter. All the organic matter was absorbed into the bones.
Or at least was a human. Oh, and finally, Sans is only one letter removed from being an anagram for Ness. That's just a fun one. I thought it was worth mentioning. But if there was any doubt, we have to look no further than the creator's previous work. Toby Fox, the man behind
Here we go.
Undertale,
Look at this,
had
the
previously
gentleman.
worked on a Halloween hack for Earthbound. But this just wasn't a simple reskin. The Halloween hack tells the tale of Dr. Andonuts after the events of Earthbound. Remember?
Andy's nuts? Well, what is wrong with the hell?
Remember I pointed him out? He's the one who made the phase distorter. In Toby Fox's version of the story, we see that after Gygas's defeat, the souls of the kids never return home. Instead, by going to the past to defeat Gygas, they create a new timeline that they're stuck in. As a result, Jeff never reunites with his father, Dr. Andonuts. And Dr. Andonuts goes crazy with guilt because he's the one responsible for creating the time machine and extracting the souls of his son and his son's friends to send them back to what he assumes was their death. In his mind, he killed 4 kids. And in Toby Fox's game, he's lost his mind trying to deal with that guilt.
Dude, killing kids, Undertale, sending people away. Dude, the precursor to Undertale right here.
Telling you, this hack is dark. But that said, you see a lot of Undertale in this game. The appearance of amalgamates, the first use of the awesome song Megalovania, the prototypes for Flowey, and the theme of having the choice to be non-violent in an RPG, sparing your enemies. But then why's all this matter to the theory? Well, remember, in Toby Fox's version of the story, the kids don't come back. They're stuck in the past with no hopes of getting home, just like Sans. And in the hack, one character is oddly missing, with no explanation as to why.
Ness.
Presumably in this timeline, his soul is in a different
place with
than
the red
his 3
Chris.
friends. Which brings us back to Undertale. 3 faces with "Don't Forget" written on it. It's Ness trying to remember his 3 friends. In short, Undertale is a continuation of Toby's version of Earthbound, with Ness never being able to get home, adopting the name Sans, and accompanied by Papyrus, a former Starman, an alien force able to speak English and still equipped with his armor and signature posture, but without any knowledge of earthly things, like the sun. The pieces all just seem to fit. And all we need is an appearance from Pokey/Porky, and we've got ourselves a true sequel. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory,
man.
Thanks for watching.
Holy moly. Do we get
go
sponsorship?
Forth with that knowledge and try to tell me who Gaster is. Don't worry, I'll be looking too.
And look, man, we still don't know. Nothing changed.
I have a few more
so many
Undertale
years
theories
later.
in the works, as well as a deadlock, and then there's Goomba with another culture shock on the game. So if you're into the franchise, make sure you subscribe to get notified of those videos as they come out over the next few weeks. And hey, if you're interested in learning more about the Earthbound Halloween hack and its role as a precursor to Undertale, we're currently playing through it live.
Oh,
Our
look
next
at that,
session is
man.
Wednesday at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time.
I don't think that's accurate anymore.
So check it out. It's super creepy, but also super fascinating to see the inner workings of Toby Fox's mind.
Isn't this... I always thought this hack was a complete mess. Like, complete just unhinged memes. Or I mean, look at their faces. Maybe it is.
And if you want to catch up with what you've missed, boom, here's the link. I think that this clip really sums it up best.
Oh, no.
Hell yes, Mexicans!
Okay, yeah. It's memes.
Or if you want to learn more about my favorite game, Earthbound, click right here. It's an old theory I did about the true meaning of the game, with an emphasis on old. So go back and laugh at how bad my editing and voiceover was. It's pretty funny to look back. But honestly, the message about the beauty of Earthbound is just as relevant as ever.
What was that? Why is Peach the Beauty? What was that?
Hopefully, by you guys watching this episode and maybe clicking over to watch that episode, I can share with you my all-time favorite game, and quite honestly, one of the best games ever created. But now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go track some human migratory patterns across Southeastern Asia. So I'll see you guys next week.
What is happening? What are you talking about? Hell yeah, man. Why is Evil Ness staring at me? And okay, I think that's a pretty good screen to end it on for the outro. We got Sans and Ness. Ness with a very intimidating pose. That was actually really entertaining. I didn't exactly know what I was gonna, what I have to expect. Was it gonna be I roll your eyes? Was it too much of a stretch? But I don't know, it was really entertaining. The connections admittedly do all make sense, which with theories and especially game theories and stuff, that's just what's gonna happen sometimes. You have these circumstances where you're okay, this makes perfect sense, but it's completely random. Just because in such a big game, and I'm pretty sure Earthbound is much bigger and longer than Undertale, but Undertale of course still has so much dialogue, so many little parts, so many secrets, that eventually just some of the things are gonna you can put the pieces together, you can be this is crazy. That's why there's so many theories about the game. But I don't know, I like that. That was really cool. I had no idea about many of these things. I knew the meme, Sans is Ness, but honestly, I feel kind of bad, because I never took it seriously. Every time I saw it, I was okay, that's cool, but I kind of understand now why there's probably many, many people who thought this was real, and, possibly still think this is totally real. It's probably never gonna be canon. But, you can even argue Toby Fox was kind of did it on purpose. Toby Fox was yeah, let's do that. Maybe some people are going to figure it out. Is this true? Is Sans Ness? Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not a lawyer. But I don't even know if this is legal. You don't know? Maybe this is a little crazy. I don't know. I don't think you can use another IP, another franchise in your own, right? I think that is probably some sort of copyright infringement where you're okay, Toby Fox basically made a spin-off or a sequel. You can even argue a sequel to Earthbound, which is totally fine, I think, for a fan game like The Hack. But if you make a new game, Undertale, and it's a fully paid game, a full indie game, that's probably not allowed. So I don't think it can be canon, and especially since it's Nintendo, we know Nintendo can be infamous for how strict it is about these things. So I think that's probably, if I'm right, I could be wrong, but if I'm right, that's probably the biggest reason why this could never be the case. This is completely out of the question. But as a little wink wink, Sans is Ness, wink wink, I can see it, man. This was really fun, actually. I like this theory. I never had anything against it. I thought the memes were hilarious, but I kind of respect that. That's cool. Dude, the best part was freaking Sans. Dude, I can't be... Dude, I wonder if this inspired the freaking Steven Universe meme with Sans, but after not surviving or what. Steven after not surviving, Sans, right? With losing the skin. Literally the same theory. I wonder if this theory right here inspired that meme. Maybe the meme came first, I don't know. But that was hilarious, man. That was the best part of the entire thing. I love that. I don't know. But okay, man. Cool. That's cool. A little look into the mayhem and the madness of old Undertale theories. Though, to be fair, I mean, it hasn't gotten much different. I mean, we're still everyone's still crazy here. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked the theory as much as I did. Of course, game theory, an iconic classic theory right here. Really cool. Until next time, take care.